Okay, so previously we talked about incidence and prevalence. So that's the use of epidemiological indicators or morbidity indicators. We won't really talk about mortality since this is a school health setting. So let's see an example. We'll do this first to prepare you for the exercises. Okay. All right. So let's do this. So in Bagong Bayan Elementary School, there were 2 students reported to have fever and cough. You are the health committee officer in charge of Bagong Bayan Elementary School. It is Monday morning, January 17, 2022. You received 2 separate reports from the teachers. This is the first time this year, since January 1, 2022, that you receive reports of sick children in the school since the resumption of face-to-face classes. This is all hypothetical, of course. Okay, student 1. JR, a 7-year-old boy, grade 2 student, section A, was coughing in the classroom on Friday afternoon, January 14th, and was sent home right away. Student 2, AB, a 10-year-old girl, grade 4 student, section B, absent on Monday due to fever that started Saturday. Saturday, January 15, no classes, and was at home during the onset of the fever. So you have 2 cases, no? Grade 2 and grade 4. Then you know that this is your total number of students in Bagong Bayan, 533. In 2A, you have 29 students. In 4B, 34 students. So how many cases are there? 1, 2. So there are 2 cases in Bagong Bayan Elementary School as of January 17, 2022. But are they suspected, probable, or definite cases? So you have to classify next. So now you will get your DOH definitions or WHO definitions, the clinic definitions. Then you review them. They are symptomatic with fever and cough. So they are at least suspects, no? We do not know yet if they are part of a cluster. We do not have any test results yet. We cannot label them as probable nor confirmed. So do note that the classification can change over time because it depends if you suddenly see a cluster or that you test and therefore they become confirmed. Yes. So here at this point, they are still suspects, no? So what is the incidence proportion of cases in Bagong Bayan Elementary School from January 1 to 17, 2022? That's 2 students out of 530. That's 0.37%. Then, so you can report it as there are 2 COVID-19 suspected student cases out of 533 students in BES, giving an incidence of 0.37% during January 1 to 17, 2022. Number 4. So what is the point prevalence of COVID-19 cases in BES? Well, if we ask point prevalence as of January 14, that's just 1 student. So on January 14, there was 1 COVID-19 suspected student case out of 533 students in BES, giving a point prevalence of 0.19%. But the following day, January 15, we know now that there are 2 symptomatic cases. So that is 2 out of 533 or 0.37%. So on January 15, there were 2 COVID-19 suspected student cases out of 533 students in BES, giving a point prevalence of 0.37%. So I hope that when you report, can be something like this. So the incidence was this, the point prevalence as of this date was this. Then period prevalence. But when you say period, you have to define also prevalence from January 1 to January 15. Again, 2 cases. So then you can say from January 1 to January 15, there were 2 COVID-19 suspected student cases out of 533 students in BES, giving a period prevalence of 0.37%. So as the health officer in charge, now you need to initiate contact tracing. And you would like to know who are the potential close contacts of the children. Are the following people close contacts of the COVID-19 suspected cases? Classmates and teachers of student 1. Student 1 was in school during symptom onset on January 14. So all classmates and teachers whom JR interacted with on January 14 and even on 12 and 13. Because you recall the definition by WHO on exposure to symptomatic cases includes those who were exposed not just during the time they were coughing, but also 2 days before they were coughing or they had symptoms. Okay? So -2. So that's January 12 and 13 as well. Now, by interaction, we don't just mean simple interaction like passing by. We mean direct interaction within 1 meter for more than 15 minutes, especially if they had no masks or any personal protective equipment, like during recess or playing without masks, or if they are in very enclosed spaces. Okay. How about classmates and teachers of student 2? Now, student 2, as you recall, was at home when she developed a fever. It was a Saturday, January 15. But she was in school 2 days before. That's January 13 and 14. And that's still considered an infectious period. So would the classmates, all of them, automatically be considered as close contacts? That's something to consider. But this will depend also. First, the ventilation of the school. Is it a good ventilation? Second, do they wear masks? Do they have good physical distancing? And also, you have to check. I'm sure student 2 has her own best friends. So maybe she will only talk to a select number of the students, not all students. Okay, so that's where the contact tracing judgments come in also. Okay, because you're looking for direct interaction, taking into consideration the environment, no? So whether they were wearing masks, whether the classroom is well ventilated, and so forth. How about the family in the household of student 1? Yes, definitely. Because in the house, they are unlikely to be wearing masks, right? They are sharing meals, they are sharing bedrooms and bathrooms. So they are unlikely to be distancing themselves. Therefore, if student 1 has sisters or brothers who also go to Bagumbay Elementary School, then they would be considered as close contacts. How about family in the household of student 2? Similarly, yes, definitely. Because in the house, again, you have very close and direct interactions. So if student 2, should be 2, has sisters or brothers who also go to Bagumbay Elementary School, then they would be considered as close contacts. Number of contacts based on the given data. Well, these are the students, but we don't know whether they have direct interaction, no? So not everyone is automatically a contact. So you don't like just decide to quarantine everyone. We have to be reasonable about this. Was there how is the mobility like across the school? How are the interactions like? So student 1, we initially suspect that all classmates and teachers of student 1 are contacts. But again, it says here, pending further investigations. Same with student 2. We think, okay, let's check first with all the classmates and teachers. But again, pending further investigations.